Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia, Saskatchewan, and the Yukon. Trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the pink symbol ABN-AF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is market historian Bob Hoye. He's the chief investment strategist for chartsandmarkets.com. Welcome back to the show, Bob.
Yeah, hi, Jim. It's good to be with you.
Bob, what caught your eye in the financial world this week?
Well, you had a whole lot of storm come down on Trump after his meeting with Putin, and I think that whatever would have happened, the anti-Trump media would have done the same, and it's really quite remarkable. I went into it, going back to April when we were looking for a good rally for crude oil out to maybe around May or June, but I got concerned because the U.S. has a petroleum reserve whereby it can be sold, it can be bought. And with now so much oil reserve in the U.S., it's huge. There's no need for that extraordinary backup being owned by the government. So I thought, hey, if I were Trump, I'd certainly be selling it. You can keep the price from going up too far. You can keep gasoline prices up. Then, of course, there's no way of knowing that there would be a meeting one-on-one set up with Putin. So, anyways, a few weeks ago, Trump sort of said, it hinted that maybe the Saudis should lighten up on some crude, sell a little or whatever, or increase production. And then my guess is that he went into the meeting with Putin, and both Putin and Trump would know that in the 1980s, Reagan was out to bring down communism, and he had a side deal worked out with the Saudis that if crude was going to go down, don't try and help it from not going down. And it fell from $35 to $10, and that effectively bankrupted the old Soviet Union, which collapsed. So I think both parties in that meeting, which was interesting because all the only other people in the room at the meeting were translators for each side in 2 hours, I think. So anyways, I think Putin would know that he's vulnerable, and perhaps many people in Russia would like to take another step towards freedom and have less intrusive government. It's certainly going on in the U.S. England is trying to get out of the authoritarian clutches of the European community. So I look at it as positive politically. I think the world is on a popular uprising that could result in a tremendous reformation of less in-your-face and in-your-wallet government. So that's the political picture, and then we've got the markets.
We'll have more with Bob Hoye right after the break.
Hi, I'm Douglas Mason, President and CEO of Rainy Mountain Royalty Corp., RMO, on the TSX Venture Exchange. Rainy Mountain's Brunswick property is located in the Rideout Shear Zone in Ontario, with grab samples running as high as 32 grams per ton gold. A follow-up drill program to test numerous targets located by recent groundwork is planned for early 2018. Please visit our website at rmroyalty.com.
MGX Minerals is revolutionizing the new energy economy with patented lithium extraction technology, replacing traditional solar evaporation using low-cost, low-energy nanofiltration. The first system of this paradigm shift technology is currently being commissioned. MGX Minerals trades on the CSE, symbol XMG, the OTCQB, symbol MGXMF, and Frankfurt, symbol 1MG. For more information, visit our website, mgxminerals.com.
Welcome back. We're chatting with Bob Hoye. Bob, I've seen a lot of newsletters say they think it's time to get into Bitcoin again. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, I think a couple of weeks ago in looking at the GBTC, it was oversold and due for a rally. But the main thing is that spike up into December was one of the most remarkable bubbles in all of financial history. And it registered, it was off scale. So anyways, on December 19th, it registered on one of our techniques, which was the sequential sell, and it hadn't given that signal in 2 years, so we thought it would be at least the equivalent correction. And also, great speculations have had a tendency to conclude at the end of the year, and that was that one. So, anyways, on the Bitcoin phenomenon, it did take out new lows, did set new lows. So, if on this rally it does go to new highs, then that bubble has concluded, and we all know that oftentimes, if there's going to be a financial problem, it'll appear in the fall. And those financial problems that appear in the fall typically follow a tremendous party, of which there has been. So the bubble in Bitcoin may be over, but the advance in the technology is not over. That and the blockchain will continue to be employed, improved, and whatever. And I think at the end of the game, somewhere through the blockchain, a relatively constant valued currency will result, and at some point the public will demand a currency that can't be messed up by politicians and economists with strange ideas. So I look forward to it, but to trade it, I think it's just going to be one of those things that extremely oversold for traders who are nimble. You can take a position, and extremely overbought, get out of it. So it's not, you don't want to maintain the vision of it and making you extremely wealthy. I think the end result will be a very useful tool, and plus that as a trading item. There are other things, of course, to trade. We've saw that base metal prices rallied out to around May, June. That was on our schedule. And also the other industrial commodities such as lumber did exceptionally well. And you also had good rallies in the crude oil sector. So these were what we called friends of the bull market, and they were constructive. But they've all done their best and have broken trend. So we see nothing positive from the industrial commodity side. Gold recently kind of oversold down to what we call a capitulation, so it could do some work here, but there's no way of saying whether this is the ultimate low for this bad time for crude or not, or for gold, until later. Now, in the fall, if there is a liquidity crisis, of course, people will go to the liquidity as represented by gold. You can get in and you can get out. And, of course, the other item that shows terrific liquidity are short-dated treasuries in the U.S. And so if there's a financial storm in the fall, there will be a bid for gold. But it'll be coordinated with a bid for the dollar. So we don't see making huge money one way or the other out of gold in U.S. dollar terms. But if you're in lesser countries, lesser currencies, yeah. And then, of course, one would always want to have a little bit of gold as just kind of comfort insurance kind of thing. But then the other thing is the best way to play the precious metal sector is through the gold stocks. And, hey, they're going to be vulnerable to a probable financial liquidity problem in the fall. So, where can you trade? Well, as we've said a few times, in a storm, people go to cash. But then if you're in T-bills or the equivalent, which are U.S. now are trading a little over 2%, they're going to go down to a zero interest rate. So you want to get something a little further term out, and that would be our favorite, which is the 3 to 4 year good grade corporate bonds. You won't get hit too hard in price, and there's not too much quality risk. And the term is favorable. So, and for those in Canada or other countries, if you own some U.S. corporates, then you'd get a positive out of a probable rising U.S. dollar. So that's a good place to be. It would feel good.
We'll have more with Bob Hoye right after this.
I'm Brian Fowler, president of Blind Creek Resources Limited, listed on the TSX Venture Exchange, ticker symbol BCK. Blind Creek is focused in the Yukon, Northwest Territories, and British Columbia. The company's key property is the Blend Project, one of the largest undeveloped lead-zinc-silver deposits in Western Canada, plus plans to advance the recently acquired, fully permitted historic engineered gold mine in the Atlan District of Northwestern BC. Check us out at blindcreekresources.com.
Don't miss out. Stay informed. Receive the HowStreet.com weekly recap with thought-provoking podcasts, radio, and articles delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage at HowStreet.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Bob Hoye. Bob, did President Trump attack the Fed saying their policies are driving the U.S. dollar up?
Yeah, I saw that. I'm disappointed that he did say that, because at other times he said that for a sound economy you got to have a sound currency. But I think people get caught up with immediate things going on. And of course this. Don't know why it came out. I'm disappointed that it did. The president of the U.S. should not be commenting on central bank policies. That can be affected by those who are appointed to the central bank. And, of course, the central bank is always behind what's going on in the real market anyway, so they're merely along for the ride. But, yeah, unwise at that moment, and I don't know why he said it. So,
Bob, uranium, how's that doing? And there's noises that the U.S. wants to investigate Canada, who supplies, I think, 25% of their uranium.
Well, they had the problem with it, the former President Clinton under his regime, and then under when Hillary was Secretary of State, there was the deal with uranium, and it smells to high heaven. As a play, I can't get bullish about the price of uranium. I think there will be an increasing number of electrical power plants being uranium fueled, but coal and natural gas are better than that. It's just an unbelievably lengthy regulatory process to try and build uranium plants, unless you're in France. So don't see any play in any extensive play in the uranium stocks.
Bob, again, we always ask, if there's troubled times, where's a good place to park your money to save it?
Well, in the senior currency, and as I've said, in 3 to 4 year term, good grade corporate bonds, and a plus, as I've said, the gold is always an insurance item because, in case you have to bribe the border guards as you leave the country. But we don't have to worry about that yet in Canada. So,
Bob, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Jim, good to be with you, and look forward to next week.
My guest has been market historian Bob Hoye. He's the chief investment strategist for chartsandmarkets.com. If you have any questions for Bob or the show, you can send them to info@howstreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard. Thanks for listening.
Comments made on HowStreet.com radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com radio is a production of HowStreet Media Incorporated.